The burden of critical illness is very high in Bangladesh. Bangladesh is a tropical country, so the communicable diseases like dengue, malaria and pneumonia are a substantial cause of death and disability in the country. On the other hand, due to rapid urbanization and industrialization, non-communicable diseases, hypertension, diabetes and ischemic heart disease are increasing day by day. Stroke, asthma, COPD, heart failure are the common cause of hospital admission in the country. Cancer is the sixth leading cause of death in Bangladesh. Road traffic accident, occupational injuries are the common problem. So, most of the hospital faces critically ill patients in their emergency, and the concept of critical care unit is gaining popularity. Most hospitals have ICUs to give the better treatment of their patients. Intensive care units are different from the general wards. Intensive care units look after the patients whose conditions are life-threatening and need constant, close monitoring and support from equipment and medication to maintain normal bodily function. They require expensive and sophisticated type of equipment, expert manpower, expensive drug, and last but not the least, a vast amount of money. It is not possible for the poor people to spend such amount of money. For this reason, the intensivists should treat their patient at minimum cost. They should give less investigation and monitoring to cut the cost of their patients and even sometimes rely on clinical judgment and empirical therapy. Dhaka Medical College Hospital is the largest hospital in Bangladesh. It is situated in the capital of the country. It is a 2,300 bedded academic hospital. It is a government hospital and the government bears most of the cost of the patient. So, it is always crowded with a massive number of patients. It is a tertiary care hospital and patients of different parts of the country are referred to in this hospital. So, it is always burdened by 2 to 3-fold patients beyond its capacity. It has a 32-bedded ICU and a 10-bedded AT. Patients always occupy all the beds. Usually, there is 1 to 5 bed vacant every day due to discharge, step down or death of patients, but 20 to 50 patients are referred from different ward and emergency for admission in the ICU. Unfortunately, the rest of the patients remain in the ward although they are in need of an ICU bed. The intensive care unit is run by the Department of Anesthesia, Analgesia, Palliative and Intensive Care Medicine. We have skilled manpower. Our ICU is managed by consultants who completed their post-graduation in critical care medicine, resident doctors, staff nurse and supporting staff. The doctors and nurses are dedicated to serving the critically ill patient. There are regular academic activities like academic round, lectures, group discussion, journal presentation and mortality meeting. Critical care ultrasound is a new concept in our country. The first essential concept of critical care ultrasound comes in front of us when Dr. Naharin Ahmed, a Bangladeshi origin American physician, came to our ICU in 2017 and proposed to share the concept with us. Then we conduct a workshop with doctors from the different ward of the hospital regarding critical care ultrasound. She gave necessary training to us and also donate a portable ultrasound by his friends and family. After the return of her to the USA, we always keep in contact with each other. Then we regularly perform the ultrasound and send pictures and videos in Viber. At first we feel that it is very challenging. It is not possible to acquire the knowledge and skill by only 3 days of training, but we always discuss our cases on the internet, and by regular practicing, we can master the art of ultrasound. Then we diagnose different cases by ultrasound. Sometimes ultrasound become life-saving because we diagnosed a pneumothorax by it and give immediate chest drain and save the life. Besides diagnosis, ultrasound is a useful tool to perform therapeutic procedure. It can help in the insertion of a central venous line, draw pleural fluid, draw ascitic fluid, drain the abscess, and so on.
Hello, I am Dr. Tamanna. I am doing MD in critical care medicine and I am in my final years. I have been working in this ICU for the last 2 years and I regularly practice ultrasound in my patients. I feel that lung ultrasound is a blessing for critically ill patients. Most of these patients are mechanically ventilated and bed-bound, so routine posterior anterior chest X-ray is not possible. Portable EpiView X-ray is required, but in our ICU setting, it's not always available and sometimes it is time-consuming. Some patients also need repeated chest scan, which we found difficult to do. On the other hand, lung ultrasound is a real-time bedside tool. By using ultrasound, it can identify A line, B line, lung sliding, lung point, seashore, and barcode sign. Thus, I can identify whether it is pneumothorax, pleural effusion, pulmonary edema, ARDS, or consolidation within minutes, and I can take necessary treatment steps. I can also do echocardiography on the same patient in the same setting and differentiate whether the respiratory distress is cardiac or pulmonary origin, so it gives me even more information than X-ray. I also practice focused assessment with sonography in trauma or fast examination in a trauma patient in the ICU. It is beneficial to identify free fluid or blood in the abdomen in trauma patients. It is even more accurate than diagnostic peritoneal lavage. I also scan the abdominal organ of my patients in routine daily follow-up. It provides valuable information about liver, kidney, spleen, pancreas, and other abdominal organs. I also acquired the skill of basic echocardiographic view like parasternal long axis view, short axis view, apical fourth chamber and subcostal view. Pericardial effusion, ejection fraction, wall motion abnormality, thrombus and valvular anomaly can be recognized by echocardiography, and I find this information is very much helpful in treating patients in ICU.
Hi, I am Dr. Abbas. I am MD Critical Care Medicine final part student. I regularly practice ultrasound on my patient in the ICU. My patients are bedridden, they are unconscious and mechanically ventilated. So, they are high risk for deep venous thrombosis and pulmonary embolism. I have acquired the skill of scanning deep vein in the lower limb. Compression ultrasonography is a well-validated tool for the diagnosis of lower limb deep venous thrombosis with high levels of specificity and sensitivity. Detailed examination of entire lower limb by a radiologist or technician is time-consuming and not suitable in my ICU. I usually scan femoral and popliteal vein, and also I do color Doppler study to increase the sensitivity. I use a linear probe of 5 to 12 MHz frequency for compression ultrasonography of the lower limb. Before the introduction of ultrasound, I have no other option than to insert a central venous catheter in the subclavian femoral jugular vein by a traditional landmark technique. Sometimes it is difficult due to the anatomical anomaly and thrombus vein. There is more chance of injury to artery and pleura and also hazard of repeated puncture. On the other hand, ultrasound guided cannulation is more accessible technique and there is minimum chance of complication. Ultrasound is also helpful in pleural fluid, ascitic fluid aspiration for a diagnostic and therapeutic purpose. Some of our patients are hemodynamically unstable. Some patients are hypotensive and require IV fluid. Previously, I measured central venous pressure or CVP to judge the volume status of patients admitted in my ICU. But now, I echo the skill of measure inferior vena cava collapsibility or caval index by ultrasound. It gives me a better evaluation of fluid responsiveness in my patients.
We found that our doctors can acquire the skill very quickly. They now do the ultrasound of their patients in the ICU as a daily routine practice. Our doctors found bedside ultrasound is a useful tool to manage their patient. In the next year, in 2019, we again will conduct ultrasound courses in Dhaka Medical College Hospital. We mostly focused on doctors who are working in the ICUs and emergency department. We also emphasize training of residents of MD Critical Care Medicine. Our next vision is to disseminate the knowledge of ultrasound to all over the country. We are now evaluating our previous training performance and planning future training program. We are upgrading our course curriculum and give more emphasis on hands-on training. So next year we will conduct ultrasound courses to the different hospitals of the country. We will recruit more doctors as trainer and run the course throughout the year.